Okay, welcome to How to Jump Rope Real Good Part 3. Uh, this, this class we're going to work on just jumping real good. Um, so we'll just go deep here right from the start. When you jump up, it's right as the rope itself is going up and over behind you as well. So the rope should be riding on the momentum of the jump up, and your body should be pulling it back down, so that the thing that's driving this with the rope should not be the wrist. You shouldn't be doing wrist and jumping and trying to coordinate the wrist and the jumping. The rope itself, or at least be trying to get close to it, to where your jump, the energy from your jump is going into the energy of the rope, and the energy of the rope is impacting the energy of your jump. They should be one system. It should be like one event, like two gyroscopes tied together. And so what you're trying to do physically, at that point, what you're doing physically, instead of trying to figure out, oh, how do I do this and this at the right time, you're figuring out how to relax and to apply pressure and tension so that the two events start to communicate. Like, so the waves from the up and down and the waves from the rotation, they have to somehow talk to each other. And so you have to focus on making your body a medium through which the rope and the jump communicate and become one. So then you'll see that shift. You stop being like, oh, am I good at jumping rope? And you're like, is the rope jumping causing all of these parts to experience unity? This event here is one with that event there through me. And So like for any activity, actually, the instant that somebody goes past tricking, somebody goes past just like carving, just riding, and into a trick, because a trick is happening when you go, oh, this foundational unity of all of existence, you find that, and then you go, I'm bored, I want to do something else. Okay, that's where these powers come from, is when people get it, they like, you truly get it, and then you go, I'm dissatisfied, so you go, I'm going to work on some crazy ability, and then almost all those times, those things are like dangerous. So skating, you start to, go after the crazier tricks, the higher levels of ability, higher levels of understanding, power to cities, the footwork, right? The footwork of jump rope, and then the instant you start doing the footwork of jump rope, yo, go. The instant that you start going for tricks outside of flow is like that's the realm where all the injuries pop up and development stops to the degree that you get interested in that realm or get sucked entirely into it. Then there's a plateau that happens. And so with like jumping rope, that just seems like, oh, my skip got interrupted. Did I do something crazier between? Or did I, what are you looking for? Uninterrupted skipping? Like perfect synchronization? Or whatever XYZ trick routine? And so then you can get, maybe you can only go 10 skips, but you can do something crazy in between those 10 skips. But like, let's say that the activity was real and like the world depended on you holding it together the same way that you hold it together jumping rope, that your life really depended on it. And you can see that like anything past just doing the activity in the flow state of like having only as many variables as you can unify, and then adding more variables to that just because of boredom, the craving or whatever. I guess I can, you know, use a little bit of tricking is fine, right? Like I can take this movement and try and get it connected to the rope. But it's never as good as I could do just this. Right? The thing that makes jump roping really awesome, health-wise anyway, I would never be able to do better than just this. Because this is the easiest thing to synchronize. Once I start doing this, I'm just a little bit less synchronized. And like maybe I can get really, really good at that, but it'll always be just a little bit less good because it's a little bit more complex. And so that way of looking at things is also, you know, that's part of the middle way thing. Of like, you have to be an absolute master. But not interested in any of the things a master can do. Not just as like, that's not the direction, like the direction is upward, right? Like if I was a professional jump roper and made money off of this, then yeah, it would make sense for me to develop horizontally. But if I'm just doing some activity for the personal elevation, then it's just this like basic level, and you're going to be unifying a couple of different elements. So there's like one thing happening, and that's like an inner athleticism. Largely lost, because how could a person unify like jumping and a rope if they aren't unified on the inside, right? So like once you're able to do this, and it's just kind of how it works, like whatever. But if you're out of shape, chances are you've let this shit go, and when you let it go, you forget stupid shit like this. Like it's obvious, right? Everything I'm saying is obvious. Because it's like, oh, that's how it was before I was fragmented. And so, okay, now shit's fragmented. What's going to happen? Well, if it's going to function like it was before, there's going to be surfing because it's fragmented. So for it to move as a single wave again, which it can, the fragmented parts have to ride. So to restore the natural, normal health and athleticism and intelligence of childhood, you find different modalities of surfing where the fragmented part rides on the original part, and it creates the same wholeness or vitalism of newness, and it lets the old broken thing still kind of have that same appearance, and even cooler because it's surfing. like ability and accomplishment in youth is more of an act of nature, and ability and accomplishment as a person ages is more an act of them civilizing themselves or not. And if your posture is like really centered or whatever, you should find that jumping rope forward is about the same as jumping rope backwards.